Hello. How you guys doing? How's your day going? How's your week? Hopefully it will swell. Give me a second. I'm still setting some stuff up. Hang on. I'm moving my windows around. Give me a sec. Okay. Hello! Jim Margaret, Bridgewater, Edivos. Hello. My week's been... It's been alright. So, I changed what I was going to do tonight. Almost last minute, but last minute-ish. What are we going to start of Slime Season 4? 4-day weekend, you lucky motherfucker. I have a 3-day weekend next week because my birthday is next week and I'm taking Friday off. Which apparently threw my boss for a loop because the system put it in for my actual birthday, which is Wednesday. Who the fuck takes off a Wednesday? Just one day in the middle of the week? Go to hell. So I'm going to Friday, which my company doesn't get off in the first place because fuck you. Bank holidays? Why would we need to care about bank holidays when all of our customers are banks? Whatever, I don't care. And literally 2 minutes ago, while I was taking a shit, my boss tried to call me because they're having problems at trying to get a print file somewhere. I don't give a shit right now. It is 7 o'clock on a Friday. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done for the week. Fuck you. Epic, how you doing? Luke, hello. 2 weeks vacation and 2 more weeks, and I gotta have a lot of free time. Yeah, I need to get out of this fucking place. I just need to like stop showing up. Honestly, is what I need to do. I just need to be like, you know what? Bye. Look for a new job together. Yay. Yeah. Anyway, so last week you saw I was playing some Death Stranding, right? And I take a lot of screenshots. And if you remember, I have a server that shows screenshots for things, right? Oh, that's okay. Well, bad example. All right, that's a better example. I take a lot of screenshots, right? And this is just the server to host them because I can't put them all. I can't upload them all to Steam, right? And so I started taking screenshots of what I was doing in Death Stranding. You'll notice that's a number, not a name, and there's no thumbnail. Turns out a while back, Steam, probably like last year, late last year, Steam changed their API, excuse me, to be completely different, and to work completely differently. So that kind of broke. I mean, this server still works, right? Still works. But I was going to work on this tonight until I started looking at the API stuff. And like I got to register. Well, I had to tie it to a domain. And so makes it testing locally not the easiest, I guess. So I didn't want to fucking bother with that. So instead, I don't know. We'll figure out something with disassembly stuff. So I was working on little things here and there for like the titler. All right. So I hadn't done a lot of reversing for this yet. I opened up the I marked the API if I can just YOLO it. I'll do that off stream, so I don't have to worry about like leaking keys or any of that bullshit. Because I know it'll happen. I've done it before. I've leaked keys accidentally on stream. So for this time, while I figure out the key stuff and getting that working, I'll do that off stream. And then maybe if I figure that out and I have other things to do, which I will, I'll do that on stream. You have 1 hour less. I've already had the daylight saving switch. That was like a month ago, if that. Hang on. Okay, it's all gone over there now. So yeah, that's you have fun with that one. I've already gone through that hell. Someone gives you 5 gig for screenshots, something like that, and you have to like manually upload them, and that's a pain in the ass. What I have, it automatically uploads. So whenever I take so I've got a client and a server thing. So the server's obviously on the server, and I've got a client on this machine that I'm running. That's on a timer every half an hour or something like that, I think. It just rescans the directory and uploads the difference. But so that part still works. The server itself still works. It's just the updates from Steam don't work for when I upload a new game or it doesn't have the the thumbnail or whatever, right? And apparently the name overrides don't work either, so that's cool. But whatever. The reason for DSC is fuel saving in World War I Germany. That's not what we have it. That's not our excuse over here. Over here, it's like, oh, farmers or something. More daylight for that. Okay. Does Steam embed the game ID into the metadata? It's all folder based. It's the game ID is used in a folder in the screenshots directory. That's all it is. Dead simple. And then in that folder, there's a thumbnails folder, and that's got a smaller version of the screenshot. So it's dead simple. That's how I get the ID. Yeah. But matching that number to the actual game name and all that requires API access, and I'm not doing that on stream. Also something which immediately made me very suspicious. Some company claiming their AI wrote code that's better than GPU experts by running 7 days straight. The issue is somehow 3.6 times faster. Something wrong is going very wrong. Yeah, I am immediately suspicious too. So remember that claim of like, oh yeah, we asked the AI to, write its own C compiler, and it did. Look at that, and it works. Except it doesn't link anything, so it can't actually build the kernel or anything large. Anything that's like more than one source file or some stupidness. Oh, and also we just gave it GCC as fucking training data. It's like fucking what? So what you're saying is you cheated, like thoroughly cheated. Go to hell. Not only did you thoroughly cheat, you don't do any optimizing passes, so the code's dog shit, and no one would ever want to use that. The best optimization level? No, so it didn't have levels of optimization. It just supported the command line tag and did fuck all with it. So it chose arbitrarily during the process of building this shit software. It chose an optimization level and you can't change it, which is hilarious, actually. DSD's for farmers. Meanwhile, farmers, no thanks. DSD hurts us. Yeah, that argument never made sense to me either, right? Because like, okay, you're a farmer that has dairy cows. Cows can't tell time aside from, oh, sun's up, right? So like, they're gonna be ready for you the same time yesterday as today. Doesn't matter that your clock is different. Or today, you know what I'm saying, yeah. It's a token predictor, not understanding what it outputs. Call me impressed. Yeah. Did you guys hear about that, was it Light LLM breach? The supply chain attack on that one? Oh my God, where all you need to do to run the malware is install a package via pip, and you're compromised. Takes all your SSH keys, all your environment variables, all your AWS keys, all your GitHub keys, takes the fucking world, and then like propagates itself through like GitHub workers or some shit. Oh, it made me laugh. I'll watch that later. His stuff is good though, John Oliver. I don't watch it very often because it's depressing as shit, a lot of the stuff he goes over, but very well researched. 11 years ago. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, 11 years. Yep. Yeah, that checks out. A lot of the stuff that he's putting out now is so depressing to watch. It's so depressing. But anyway, so I have made a few little changes to some quality of life things to my disassembler. Let me actually, because I think I have some pending, don't I? No. Okay. Well, excuse me. Toyx, how you doing? Night. Good night. Also, my condolences for your American-style retirement saving now. Yeah, it ain't looking good. Okay, so that was stream, I believe, right? I did some readme corrections and oh yeah, okay. So INS header, if it's there, ignore it. Which means all of the offsets in the configurations are to the ROM itself, to the actual ROM, instead of the file. It's an alias. If I can spell it right. Did I say that? Did I? How do I? Wait a minute. Hang on. Alias. I spelled alias right? Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, okay. Git config global alias.blog. It's that. It's a git log with some format bullshit, graph, branches, remotes, and tags. With all kinds of fancy colors. Or bad, who knew? But I remember years ago at this point, digging into the log format to figure out a way to make it look the way I wanted it to, basically. And it'll do like the graph and all that kind of stuff with the branching and all that, and show all the branches and all the tags and the remotes and everything. Yeah, I use this alias absolutely everywhere now. It's muscle memory now for using that. Also, ST. I use that a lot. Status short. So git status is that. But if I want to just like see the files that changed, that's all I want. That's all I really want, right? That's all I care about. Yeah. Whoa, no, that's the chat. Modified, unknown, untracked, whatever, right? No. If I had decent people, I wouldn't have tagged an incorrect commit. Oh no! And you want this? I'll paste this for you in chat. If nothing else, you can use that as a starting point, right? Did that go through all the way? Yeah, I think that made it without any trouble, without Twitch barfing all over it. And yeah, if it's longer than the window, it'll invoke the what's it, the pager. There it is. So you can scroll up and down. Let's do that. It will still do that. There it goes. So if I can enunciate. More malicious. Yeah. So yeah. Ignoring the header. Window tweak. What the fuck was the window tweak? I don't remember. Oh, right. Okay, so this is a weird thing that I don't know why I didn't think of this before. If I don't have any windows set, it'll auto create a bunch of windows, right? But it won't like assign them anywhere. I don't think. Right? So it's a weird case of like, so you have windows or whatever, but you don't set the current bank as being in the window. So this one will work, right? Fixed. No. Peddler. Okay, so I have some windows here. I've got some RAM, I've got a fixed bank, and I've got the swappable bank, right? The one that can be swapped in and out. This is the only one that doesn't have an init, right? Which means it's the only one where a bank isn't basically preloaded, right? So if I am disassembling a bank that goes there, right, and I don't like have a window definition for it, it won't actually do labels or anything for this bank at all. Especially the auto labels, it won't do. So I made a change that finds the window that the current bank belongs to, based on the start address, and finds a window with that same start address and auto assigns itself, essentially, right? So that fixed up a few issues. What else? What was another one of the things I did? Oh yeah, creating the output directory, because I didn't do that either. It's just small little things like that, right? There's probably a lot more that I'll want to clean up. I know that this, where is it? This I might want to abstract a bit, because I might want to Kodor, how you doing? I might want to be able to disassemble Famicom disk system stuff without having to first unpack it, right? The idea being you give it the ROM name, the .fds name, right? And then the file number in there, right? I don't know how I would specify that in the config yet, but down the line. Sailor Soldier, how you doing? It's XFCE. XFCE. I used to use KDE until it broke my keyboard, and I couldn't fix it. Arch will still break my keyboard every once in a while, and it will break it once I update again, and the keyboard config updates. But I can fix it. That's the important part. I can actually fix that one. Yeah, I use a weird keyboard, so that's a weird keyboard layout rather. So, well, I mean, to be fair, to be completely fair, this one's kind of my fault. Is that? Yeah. So this is kind of my fault. No. It is a modified programmer's Dvorak. Sorry for the flashbang, by the way. Oh, you can't see all of it. Modified programmer's Dvorak. Because I hate myself apparently. And it is on a split keyboard as well. So I've got half of it here. But yeah, the main difference between from standard Dvorak is the number row. Numbers are on their shift layer, and they're sorted differently, and the symbols are all different as well. And they're not on the shift layer, which is nice. Especially when I code a lot, right? So if where am I? Unshifted on my number row from one across, it's this. Okay, if I actually go into insert mode, that'll help. What? I screwed something up. Hang on. New. There it is. Okay. All right. There it goes. Okay. That's my number row across the top. Spillins are cool. So, I mean, I thought it would take me a while to get used to the keyboard. It took me 10 minutes to get used to it. And now I really enjoy having the two halves split, because I can have my arms farther apart. I'm not cramped, right? with a smaller keyboard, like the keyboard at work, I feel kind of like, you know, kind of cramped, right? Like I'm trying to like squeeze into a corner somewhere. With this, I can relax. I mean, the split of the Dvorak. Dvorak I've used for a while. The split took me like 10 minutes to get used to. Dvorak, so I didn't like switch Dvorak to like type faster or some bullshit, right? Or more efficiently or any of that crap. Well, that one kind of half true. I could touch type with QWERTY, but I did some really stupid shit, right? Like to hit the question mark, I pick up my entire hand to hit the question mark button with my index finger. Crap like that, right? So I had a lot of bad habits. And I wanted to unlearn those habits, but I couldn't like unlearn QWERTY. So I figured the best way to do that was just to learn a new layout and then learn it the right way, right? So I installed Dvorak. This is like back in high school, I think. I installed Dvorak on my computer, and I would like switch to it to practice, right? Where I would transcribe a few paragraphs of, I don't know, something like that out of a textbook or some shit. I don't remember. And I was going at that for, I don't know, a week or two, and I noticed I wasn't making any progress, right? And I hated doing the practice or whatever. But I hated more the bullshit that I was doing in QWERTY. So I said, fuck it, and I uninstalled QWERTY. So I was forced to use Dvorak. I couldn't type for like a week. But after that, I could type. Yeah, raw dog in the new layout. Yeah. I printed out the fucking layout and like had it on the wall basically, right? So, like not like next to my monitor. Like, I think I had it like out of my main line of sight, right? So if I wanted to find a key that I couldn't see, because I had my keyboard like under like a shelf, so I couldn't actually see my hands at all, right? Because I didn't want. That was another thing I did. I looked at the keyboard while typing, even though I knew where all the fucking keys were. Right? Like I could touch type without, you know, looking at it. I was slower for it though, a little bit. And I always just had the habit of staring at my keyboard while I typed, and that was bad. That was terrible. So I had one of those, like a little shelf kind of thing that like you know, on the computer desk that the keyboard went on. So I just pushed that all the way in, right? Had my hands underneath there so I couldn't see shit. So I forced myself to learn. It was the first few days were very tough, but I powered through it. And now I can't really type QWERTY. I can a little bit if I'd really try, but I feel what's the word? Handicapped if I have to use QWERTY, right? Because like there's so many like this shit right here, right? This is the curly braces, right? These two keys right here. That's movement in Vim, right? The program I use a lot. Up and down paragraph, basically, right? That's on like a shift layer way the fuck out of the way. I don't have to hit shift or anything. My fingers stay on the home row, kind of, for the most part, right? Like I don't have to try hard. I don't even have to look at the keyboard to know where it is. Not that any of the keys actually match what's on the keyboard anymore. My split keyboard just has blank caps. That's my solution. Yeah, so a lot of the keyboards I've had in the past have had blank caps. I think I still have a few with them. One of my keyboards, notably, doesn't have blank caps, but it's got the anime face caps. That one. I go caps. Yeah. How you doing? That's where I lose my mind glancing down at the keyboard like, where is the key? It's completely wrong. So there have been like a small handful of times where you hit the waifu keycaps. Exactly, yes. Where like at work, when I used to work at the casino or at the Cobalt place, where it was like like a smaller room with a bunch of devs in it, and no real separation, right? Where someone would roll up to my computer and either ask or just like, you know, grab my shit, right, and bring up Google and try to search for something, but they either hunt and peck or, you know, stare at the keyboard while they're doing it or whatever. So they type out their query, right? Then they hit enter and they look up and then they realize that they searched for complete gibberish. And the confusion on their face is priceless. Oh my God. Cause I'll see it like start to happen and I just sit back waiting for the realization, right? I've always used 2 layouts since there's no decent layout for Latin languages, apparently. I don't think, after learning, I don't think I've ever looked at the keyboard. Fair. But yeah, so it's really funny when people see my keyboard and they get really confused and like, how do you do that? And I'm like, it sounds like a skill issue, man. Like, how can you not? Like, you have to look at your keys? Really? Like, these keys are just fucking decoration. Like, I don't... It's to the point where, like, I will see the Latin character G on my keyboard, but that key won't register as G to me. I'll see that and go, oh, that's you. Or I. No, it's I, excuse me. I was even wrong there. Use right next, use the F key next to it, but whatever. Like you said something written on them to show off the nice LED I chose for them. Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's the main reason I don't have blanks on this one right now is because it's got the LEDs. It doesn't really show up nicely on. Oh, I guess it does. It'll cycle through a bunch of them, and depending on like which layout I have, it'll change colors. So if I do this layout, this is my QWERTY gaming layout, because a lot of games, would you believe, don't do input correctly to allow you to remap shit. So there's been so many games that I've played where like, okay, you can remap the keys, but as long as it's a letter key and not a period or a comma or whatever, which is, you know, WASD. That's my WASD keys right there, right? No, you can't rebind to comma. Fuck you. What do you mean I can't rebind to comma? What the hell? So I could go over the insane decision going split, but still staggered. Oh. I don't speak any French. My friend's trying to learn French because he's moving to Canada. But I know very little about the 2 languages, French, Canadian, and Canadian. But I do know that they apparently don't like each other. Is that true? I don't know. Languages, they're fascinating. Start learning some German. I'm sorry. Fun bug today at work. Maui, MAUI.NET cross-platform app UI. Yep. On Net 8 release, built on Android. Null reference exception will not get caught by a try-catch. What? How? Huh? That's like the entire reason for a try-catch, isn't it? Macron's wife for some reason. What? Quebec in French, yeah. They can't speak French. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't speak French. Although, like, my mom's maiden name is French Canadian. So whenever this opportunity doesn't present itself very often, but whenever it does, Any English word that is like a French word, right? That comes up in conversation, and I know about it, right? It registers as a French word for me. I will purposefully say it as American as I can. No, it's foyer. No, it's foyer. Fuck you. That's one apparently that my friend has gotten bitten by a few times. Someone still be on their side. You say answer support calls for French Canadians in French. Oh, okay. Fixed it in net 10, backported in net 9, but ignored net 8. Oh, okay. I'm trying to capture what is causing it influence by making sure everything was captured by try catch, but none of that was going to work because of it. Diagonally! Niche, how you doing? You get the idea. We're going to diagonally. Let's go. Woo! Also, anyone that like can't comprehend like a tonal language like Chinese and like the idea of like, oh well, you said it, you know, emphasizing things differently in that word, so that word means something completely different now. But forget that like we have that kind of shit in English too. Like if you emphasize the wrong syllable, if you emphasize the wrong syllable, the word will sound completely wrong, and to a native speaker, it might not even come across as the word you mean it to. Straight up, a fun issue we had post release. Some guy on the forum had his C4D crash. What? Ended up being some other plugin that just had any DirectX call and fuck stuff up. L versus R. Cinema 40. Got it. Model program. Yeah, okay, so I don't do 3D modeling. So you expect me to know all. My boss does this and it pisses me off. Well, he'll go on. He'll use acronyms I've never fucking heard before, right? And I'm like, whoa, stop, hang on, what does that mean? And he'll say what it means, and I'm like, oh, cool, something specific to the company that bought us that I never would have heard before. Thanks. DCC tool. Digital contract. No, direct chat connection. Fuck you. Or direct connected chat. What does that actually stand for IRC? Direct client to client. Yeah. This right here. Dolls are one of the ones I know. And there's XDCC. Is that on here somewhere, this page? The X not really stand for anything, I guess. Extended. That makes sense. Yeah. Did I not read the company provided acronym list? No, actually. So there's a university fucking PowerPoint tutorials, I think, for, you know, basically how all the processes and systems and shit work on the West Coast. I haven't bothered to look because I don't give a shit, basically. And they're teaching us all anyway, whether we want to or not. Yeah. I'm not doing the screenshot refactor. I'm not doing that tonight because I don't want to deal with the API bullshit. I'm not doing that tonight. I'll do some reverse engineering stuff. You lied. I'm sorry. Didn't you read the announcement I did? I put in Discord? Huh? Like in half an hour ago? Anyway, Imagine opening another application and checking an announcement. That's probably, there you go. You know what I forgot to get? I forgot to get a water. I forgot to get a drink. I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I grabbed this too. It's been sitting in my fridge for a while, so I figure I'll open it. Barely remember having this one. Yeah, I'm on there too much, honestly. I'm in too many goddamn servers. So it's from your own oh, nice. From your own province. So this is Snow Angel sake. I think I've had this one before. I think. Nagori sake though, so it's obviously the cloudy kind because it looks like milk, right? I thought, is this one? I hope this isn't carbonated because I shook this just now. Well, we are gonna find out. Before that, so I don't make a goddamn mess. Preparation for a mess. I don't know if it is. It might be, possibly. I have had carbonated sake before. It's weird. Please don't be. Please, please, please. Oh, it's not. Okay, we're good. It's not. Okay. It's not. Yeah, carbonated sake it's a weird. It's a weird texture, honestly. I mean, you know what a carbonated drink, feels like. It's like that, but alcohol, strong alcohol. It's weird. This isn't that though. This is actually. Why did I leave this in the fridge for so long? This is one of the good ones that I remember. This is a good one. All right. Anyway. Okay, so I do kind of know what I want to maybe accomplish today. What brand of flavor would you recommend for someone who never tried sake but wants to? We start with clear or milky. It's a good question. I mean, so I'd probably it's a good question. Check the project. I did click that link. I haven't scrolled down. Oh, easy check. What? Oh boy. Fact 2000 invoicing. I did see FL Studio. Yep. A lot of stuff. Wow. Damn. Yeah. So the Junmai sake, I think. Junmai. Yeah, FL Studio. Yep. 1998 to the present. 1998. First game. God damn it. What? What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Oh my god. That's just... Oh, it's just... It's Tetris, but with a background image. Can you guess what the background image is? Jesus. A PG-13 image? No. Keep in mind I'm from Pennsylvania. So we only have state stores. So there's one that's actually bottled in the States. Pearl? Momokawa. This stuff. For me, this stuff is a safe bet. Very drinkable, in my opinion. Momokawa Pearl. The Momokawa line. Momokawa. This stuff. So they have the Nigori, which is the clear stuff, and then no, I'm sorry, the Junmai, which is the clear stuff. The Nigori though is not pearl, but what the hell is the other one? Come on, load the damn page. I said load the fucking page. Press and hold. Fuck you! Come on. Why? Watch it kick me out. Yeah, okay. Diamond? No. Fucking everything. Yes, I'm 20. So look at the wrong one. Pearl is the Nigori. Diamond's Ginjo. Wow. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. You should know this. But regardless, I'd recommend the smaller bottles. Because if you don't know if you'll like it, it's cheaper, less to throw away if you don't like it, right? Instead of the what's that, 720, 750 milliliter? Yeah. Hanjozo? What is this? That's a type of sake, right? No. Do not get the cheap shit. This is the cheap shit, right? This might be. These look alright. Yeah, some of these look vaguely familiar. Yeah, that's Nigori sake, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah. Kanpai, how you doing? You don't recommend any of the $5 to $10 bottles in my local store? Absolutely not. Unless they are this size, absolutely not. So you'll see like some large ones that are dirt fucking cheap. Avoid those like the plague. They'll taste like rubbing alcohol. It's like a green bottle, right? It's a very cheap bottle of sake. It's got like a, oh, I don't even know, like a fancy-ish looking label. It's got like gold on it, I think. Avoid it like the goddamn plague. Hang on. this shit. Do not buy this. Do not buy this. Tastes like crap. Cheaper than you would expect? Don't. Yeah. Think I have seen it? Yeah, it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. Avoid it. It's crap. It's garbage. Do not. Just don't. Have a side hustle review in sake. Speaking of, so for a while, I got the shipments of like, I think it was like 6 samplers in the mail as a subscription, right? Eventually, they changed their subscription model. So instead of 6 samplers, I got 3 full bottles. As of this month, after fucking 7-8 years, they are completely discontinuing the subscription boxes, which is really unfortunate because I bought it. It was on a fucking auto pay. I meant to cancel it a few different times throughout the years, but I just never did. So it's been on every 3 months. I've gotten a box every 3 months, right? They selected a bunch of random ones and all that. I have one more box coming. It's gonna be here Thursday, the last day of this month. And that'll be the end of that. There's a blog, has it? Yeah, well, I barely use. 1 cup sake is decent if warm. I don't know. My last trip into Japan. Actually, I might have a picture of this exact thing I'm thinking of. Hang on. Let's see. My last trip into Japan, I went with my brother, right? And we went on a like a river ride, right? And halfway through the ride, it was like a snack time thing where this other boat came up and fucking attached to you, kind of, right? They like grabbed on you, whatever. We docked on another boat, and you get snacks and all that kind of shit. And my brother's like, "Yeah, I'll have some sake." It's 11 in the morning. What do you mean? It's 10 a.m. What do you mean you have some? See, he got it, took like 4 sips, and went, "I made a mistake." Four sips and went, "I shouldn't have done this." I go, "Yeah, no shit, no shit." It was we had like breakfast, maybe, kind of, right, kind of, sorta, like not not a legit breakfast. We had something like barely a snack. We didn't have lunch yet, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give him some sake." And he takes like 2 sips. He's like, "Wait, shit, I probably shouldn't have done that." this is a bad idea. Okay, so I found the river ride. But yeah, real nice river ride, right? Down a winding river with some rapids here and there, right? Yeah, some rapids and kind of, sort of. Yeah, but it's a guided kind of thing, you know, or it's all fine. This guy was funny. this guy knew broken English, but he was fucking hilarious. I love the guy. Where is it? So somewhere down here. Caution, restrainer. Okay. There's just like a boat like waiting. This was last year's, yeah, 2025. November, I want to say. Caution, English. Some random people just like out hiking. Let me wave to. And, I looked it up later. That's like a part of a hiking trail that goes back there on like another like river. A little after that, I think. That's a bridge. I took pictures of a lot of bridges. There it is. We see this boat in the distance, right? Boat is in the distance. That's the one with the cover on that. So they're attached to somebody else right now. The previous boat that went down the river. Oh, I didn't get any pictures when we were there. I didn't grab any while we were there. It might have been on my phone actually that I got them then. The sake ship, yeah. But then we get off, and now we gotta like actually find food, right? And there's food like all around this area, but actually almost immediately after that we climbed the fucking mountain again, to go visit the monkeys. That's Kyoto right there. But monkeys in the cage. It's fascinating to see other people's pictures as I never take any of anything. So yeah, so you'll notice that I don't have any pictures of myself. There is, I think, a single picture that I am in that my brother took. Now I took a bunch with him in it, right? Like he wasn't posing or anything, except for one with the monkeys, because he wanted a picture of him feeding. Yeah, so some of these here, he's like, make sure you get some pictures, you know, of me feeding the monkey, right? So I got some pictures of him trying to feed the monkey and feed the monkey. But yeah, so he's in a bunch, like, yeah, that obviously that's him, by the way. So he's in a bunch, not necessarily posing, but you know, I'd like taking a picture of something else or whatever. Like this, right? He's walking in it or something like that. But neither one of us like really posed for any pictures at all. But I would usually be walking behind him, and he'll be in the shot or whatever, right? Like there's another one where it's a rainy day, and we're walking down. It's in Kyoto. We're walking away from a shrine on kind of like a back road. It's probably a day before this, honestly. And I took a picture, and he had like an umbrella up. I just like yelled ahead, "Hey, put your umbrella down for a second," so I can get a better shot. But he's still in it, right? I'm not gonna be able to find that picture. I've got 1,400 pictures. I don't know if I'll be able to find that one. Do my brother cut his hair? Recently? I don't know. Maybe? Yeah, so we're going to all the shrines. All these shrines. So we went and saw this famous shrine right here. All right. Oh, there's another one where yeah. So he's just looking at something, right? Blurry as shit because I focused on the wrong thing. He was in. Well, yes, this is the back of his head. A lot of them. But there was one. I guess I went right by it in this shrine here, where, you know, he actually like, hey, get a picture of me in front of this thing, right? This shrine. Same length? No, he's never had the same length as me. Unless I've had like really short hair, which, you know, yeah, hair. Doesn't even smile. Doesn't even smile. He's like, yeah, like, get a picture of me. All right, you're gonna smile? No, okay. He almost smiled there. Oh, yeah, this famous shrine. But then there's like one of me somewhere. We're gonna find her real quick. That he sent to me over Discord after the trip when he was going through the pictures. It's the only picture that I'm in. Yeah. This is the only picture that I'm in. This is it. Didn't pose for it. He's just like, hey, look over here, huh? Oh, I couldn't feel my feet after this day. This shrine has so many goddamn steps. I don't want to be here. Please help me. So you'll notice that there's people still like walking around. We're still at like the bottom, right? We're still at the bottom of the shrine. When we get to the top of the shrine, you don't see anybody else in the pictures. There's no one else around because there's so many goddamn stairs on that. Steps. Well, the item steps, but just distracted. We're very distracted. Did I miss somebody? Where is that? The American Dream is the biggest enemy. Walking. Yeah. Well. To go no, absolutely not. No, I don't think I don't think I would trust myself to try to drive in Japan because they're on the other side of the road. So I know for a fact I would accidentally drive on the American side of the road. Like every time I made a turn, it would happen, right? Because here driving is so like second nature to me that I don't even think about it when I do it. So driving on the other side of the road would fuck me up. Is it okay for Americans to get a rental in Japan? You need a special license from the States. It's like an international license, I think. So it's something that you need to actually get before you go overseas. I didn't. Because I knew I wouldn't have to drive, right? So I didn't bother because we just took the trains and buses everywhere because you could do that in a civilized country. Ben Chilling, how you doing? This looks like Go code because it is Go code, believe it or not. A bit more restrictions here, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are a lot more strict with the with speed limits, aren't you? I don't believe you. This is actually Go code to disassemble 6502 code. This is what it disassembles. Right here. Good stuff. Good stuff right here. Besides the Autobahn. Well, no, so what I mean is, like, from what I've heard, this is all, like, second, third hand, or whatever the hell, right? Like, if you're even a mile or two, kilometer or two over the speed limit, you'll get a ticket. Right? So, in the States, it is absolutely sake. It is Snow Angel sake. It's very good. I know you can't really read that very well, but trust me, it says snow. Oh, there it goes. Snow Angel. It's very good. But especially like in the Northeast here in the States, where I am, the default speed limit, if no speed limit is posted, is like 65 or 55, depending on the state. So no more than 65, like anywhere in the Northeast, right? Some places down the coastline, the Carolinas, I think, you'll see like up to 75, right? No one drives that here. No one drives the speed limit. Today, I was going 80 past the state trooper, and he did fuck all. He didn't give a shit. If no limit is your engine, right? Limit is your engine shitting itself. But yeah, so here, like, speed limits are suggestions, right? And the real speed limit, what you by real I mean what you'd get pulled over for, is like 10 above at the lowest, right? 130 miles an hour. Not so. Honestly, there's a lot of places, even on the highway, where you might struggle to get there because of the turns. And construction. Don't get me fucking started on goddamn construction. You pay for the whole engine, so you're gonna use the whole engine. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what I've hit. At least 100, but yeah. Lose control. Yeah. And there's so in New England, like there's a lot of mountains, right? So there isn't a lot of like long, straight, flat roads. There's a hill and then a corner, or both at the same time, right? So you don't really have the space to get up all that fast, without, you know, ending up wrapped around 7 trees. Hell, years ago, I remember driving home one day, driving home to New Jersey. Let me preface it with that. So I'm somewhere in the middle of Connecticut, right? And I'm going, I don't know, maybe 80, but I'm in the middle lane because no one else is on the road. It's 3 in the morning, right? This is back when I was working night shift, so I actually could drive it at night like that. I was nocturnal at that point. I do not live in England. I live in New England, Boston area. So I was driving home to New Jersey. I'm in the middle of Connecticut somewhere, right? I'm doing roughly 80. I'm in the middle lane at a 3, right? Minding my own business. No one's around. It's 3 in the morning. And all of a sudden, a car just whizzes by me. I'm doing 80, and they're going by like I'm standing still. I didn't even know they were there until they were past me, right? I didn't see them coming. Jesus, you know, surprised me. 10 minutes, 5 minutes down the road, car's flipped over. A little flare in the road. Well, I can't say that, you know. What do I want to say? Can't say I'm surprised seeing you flipped over like that. It's kind of on you. There's literally no one else on the road, so no one ran you off the road. That's your fault. I can not stand how roads turn into on-ramps. Yeah, that does kind of happen a bunch up here, where if you're not careful, you'll accidentally end up on the highway. Yeah. Surprise highway. Found a river in Japan. The Katsura? Let's see. We'll zoom out real quick. Then go over here. I think I bookmarked it. No. Oop. I have to be careful not to zoom out too far because this is actually on my account. Right here. So this is the start of it, right? Hozugawa River. Hozu River. Gawa is river, isn't it? But it's this windy bit right here. All that. And then where they were waving, that was, I think, over here. Yeah, those guys that were waving were standing like right there. Right there. Yeah, this is the river right here. Is that just Boston, or is it also the greater Boston area? Oh, greater Boston area. Absolute. That's a New England thing, I've come to find. Hell, that happens in New Jersey too, honestly. Back in my hometown where I grew up, there were all kinds of roads that suddenly you're on the highway. This is a T intersection with the highway. Fuck you. like there's a road. It's one of the highways back where my parents are. It's a local highway, so it's not like 287 or 95 or whatever. But it's like a local highway. And you'd be driving down it, and like if you're passenger or whatever, looking out the window, every once in a while you just see a regular ass fucking street that's got houses on it that just like T intersection with the highway. The one that says Ozokoyo. Ozokoyo? I can't read any of this. Let me go back to that. The Katsura River. Katsura. Is that the one you... Oh, it is. Okay. It is that one. Never mind. It changes names! The Oi River. It changes names, apparently. Yeah, so it starts up here. Like right over here. So this is the building for it, right? And then, you know, the bridge and all that kind of shit. And they had the boats like line up there. And then you go all the way down there. And you end up right over here. So... Hang on. This is this waterfall thing right here. Water feature. So I'm on that bridge, looking over those waterfalls. What language would you recommend people to learn? What do you mean language? Spoken language or computer language? I don't look for riverboat stuff, just look for a river around Kyoto. I remembered the bridges over. Oh, both. For a first language, any that'll get you to learn, honestly. And then, I don't know, whatever suits your needs. Yeah, for programming, pick a project, not a language. Yeah. Any language you pick for programming will have like at least the base of what you need to know for programming, right? Loops, assignments, numbers, you know, all that kind of stuff. Flow control, if else shit, right? Haskell. I mean, if you're willing to. What project should you pick? That is completely up to you. What do you like doing? In programming languages, you learn concepts, not languages. Yeah. Ivan, how you doing? Look, you did that in Google Translate. That's what you did. That's cheating. Unless that project is a language by itself. By reading books, I guess you learn concepts. So yeah, sure. I mean, you're gonna do a lot of reading anyway, so just get used to that. You know some? Do you? Really? Oh yeah, this is the one of the shrines over here, I think. Which one is this? Yeah, that's the that's the one with all the gates, right? Maybe? Yes, it is. Those are the gates there. And then the top of the mountain is over here. Right there. It's a long goddamn walk. And then right over here is a fantastic view of the city. So I got a picture from there. Of the city. Right there. And Osaka's way over there. Monkey Mountain's over here somewhere. Anyway. Anyway. So that's what I actually wanted to try to do today. Because I haven't actually done anything yet. No, where am I? Okay, so I think I want to figure out, or maybe not figure out, but isolate where some IRQ stuff is happening. Literally Netherlandish. Hate having a book on my desk to learn. Really? Honestly, I kind of prefer like hard copy stuff. I mean, where's this one? I actually need like a real bookshelf, but it's behind chat. But these are all like physical books that I have. These aren't like reference or anything like that. Like this is one I'm reading right now. It's all fiction, right? But I could like read this shit on like Kindle or whatever, or not, you know, read it on digitally or what have you. But I don't like that. I like having the actual physical book, right? Honestly, the same for like reference shit. Having the physical thing, I really like, you know, being able to flip to a page and not have to worry about Adobe fucking something up, you know. They look very real. The stories in them are not real, but they are real books, right? Yeah, that this you can't see this. What I'm pointing at, like this right here, all the black spines with the white text, those are all 86 books. So I've read most of the series. This is book 11 out of 13 that I'm on. This book has like 5 chapters in it. 5. Right? The author of this book needs to learn how to do fucking chapters. Where's... They aren't even fucking numbered in this book. What? I've also got these ones as well. I picked up these because I wanted to read their own. Apothecary, but yeah. They're all based on real life stories. Every single one of them. Every Magic Girl story is real. Strangely, I was a big book person at a time. I'm not really touching books anymore. After the 4th volume. Orange? Orange. What do you mean orange? Oh, the manga. Oh, the link. Why does it look familiar? It looks kind of familiar. I don't know why. Was that adapted in any of them? 2012. Huh? So this book's doing a decent job on Disassembly for 86 or no? I don't know why I didn't make that connection. No, not at all. It is a fictional story about fucking war, basically, and child soldiers. How do I find my life purpose? I'm still fucking looking. I don't know. I'm still looking. Counting with Intel. 8008. 8080. 8086. 8088. 286. 386. 486. Pentium. We're seeing 586 being used, but I'm not sure if that was just internally or was that someone else. I think I've seen the designation 586. I don't remember the specifics of it though. 186 in there. All the numbers. Now, let me. No, that's the wrong button. I want that button. Yep. And then, what do I have as a controller on this? There it is. It's covered in fucking dust. Use my PS4 controller for this. Okay. Turn on, please. Please? Battery's dead. Battery's fucking dead! Which, that's too short. Do I have a wire that isn't too short? This one, maybe? This one is not too short. Okay. Number's not trademarkable. Well, they tried, didn't they? I considered trying. Turn that on. That's plugged in. Why ain't you charging? Is it too dead to charge? Oh, there it goes. I don't have my Bluetooth plugged in. Oh my god. Okay, so that's gonna break shit like that. This one. I guess this one. Let me. Oh, okay. I still have work. We're good. Is that not my Bluetooth adapter? Okay, no Bluetooth adapter is found. Okay, so that's not my Bluetooth adapter, at least not my working one. I guess I'm not using my PS4 controller. Okay, fine. Oh, you can't even see what I'm looking. You couldn't even see my screen. Okay, so I'll have to use this. Hey. Is it that one? No. That's the one. Okay. Wow. Soft locks. Right. Okay. So we are. Where are we? 7-4. 7-4. 8. 1D. I don't disassemble that one yet. Okay. One E. Bank. 1D. We're gonna yoink that, paste it. D. D. Labels. 8FC5. 8FC5. Name. Wait for X. Oh, wait. No, offset is 7.4. Right? 7.400? 7.400. Make. I didn't include it. Maybe I'd want to have a a glob for this, honestly. Yeah. Well, maybe pick 6502 specifically. Nostalgia? No. To reverse engineer shit, honestly. Reverse engineer games. If you wanted to tools. Yeah. So at first, Campai is correct. Years ago, it's fucking 10 years ago now at this point, I think. I was watching a GDQ, a Games Done Quick, and they had a what's called a task block or a tool assisted speedrun block, right? GDQ is a speedrunning event where a bunch of people just get together and play games as fast as they can, right? Using skips and not hacks, but glitches and bugs and stuff to, like, no clip out of bounds and all that kind of crap, right? But a tool-assisted speedrun is not a person doing that as fast as possible or completing a game as fast as possible. It's a scripted computer program completing a game as fast as possible, right? You might think, like, well, what's the fun in that? Well, when you have full control over frame-accurate controller inputs, you can do some really insane shit. This particular year I was watching, they showed off Snake that was rewritten in Super Mario World, the SNES game. So original hardware, original game, and the tool-assisted speedrun was able to reprogram the game from nothing but controller inputs. And I went, wow, that's kind of neat. I want to figure out how to find bugs and shit in these kind of games, right? And NES is also very popular in that kind of thing, right? Factorio TAS? Oh my god. Yeah, I can imagine. So the things with like NES games, developers back then didn't necessarily think that like anybody would like get to certain levels, right? Like the kill screen in Pac-Man, right, is only there because the developers didn't think anyone would get that far in the game, right? Because you have to keep feeding quarters to it over and over and over. You have to have 700 pounds of quarters, right? They thought, to get to the end screen, because they didn't think anyone would be able to physically be that good at the game to get all the way that far, right? Turns out, time is a bastard, and people got really, really fucking good at that game, and can get to the end screen like without any deaths at all, right? Yeah, Flappy Bird in Super Mario World. Yep, I've seen that one too. Yep. And I think Seth Bling. Yeah. So the thing that Seth Bling did was originally done TAS, but was deemed like infeasible to do by hand, and he's like, all right, challenge accepted, and he did it by hand. Which is fucking props to him. But yeah, so older games, like, developers didn't have the experience or wherewithal to expect people to break their games in certain ways, right? It's all user input, right? So when you're first like learning to program, you blindly trust the user to input correct data or some shit, right? But the more years you go on, right, you learn to never, ever trust user input, right? Assume it's wrong first, right? Assume it's always wrong. Yet never trust the user. Never trust the user, or player in this case, to do what you want them to do, right? Ever. Because you'll put a marker down on the map, and I'll go, cool, I'll get to that later. I'm going to go this way instead. The wall looked funny over there. I want to see if I can do some stupid shit with that wall. Then you have people figuring out that in Skyrim, if you climb up the mountain backwards on a horse, you can get up any goddamn mountain. Right? If you give the user a single button press, they will fuck it up somehow. What's that run of like Super Mario 64 where you only press A? Or something? Or there's one where it's like you beat the game only pressing A like 7 times or something stupid, right? Or I think it's Zelda that I'm thinking of, with this one thing where it's not exactly a speed run, but it's a tool assisted run where you bring Link to like the certain like wall or whatever. You get him into a certain spot, and then you wait like 3 weeks with the game running, and because of like floating point inaccuracies over time, you inch closer and closer to a wall, and then eventually through the wall, and then you're on the other side of the wall weeks later, you know. But yeah, so my point is, after all that diversion, some error handling wasn't even suspected to be needed for a lot of things, right? Like, collision worked well enough, and no one thought of the weird edge cases that people have been able to find that turn Metroid, or walls in Metroid, into suggestions. Like, oh, there's a wall there, but it doesn't matter. We're going fast enough. So by the time we get to the wall, we're already on the other side of it. So we don't collide with the wall. You know, bullshit like that. But anyway, so I saw that and I went, that's neat. I want to figure out how to find that shit in games. So I opened up this emulator, FCEUX. Do I have any recent ROMs? Let's use this one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Quiet. Enough of that. Oh, my God. Hang on. I need to kill that audio. Do not enable sound. Okay. Jesus. Sorry if that blew your ears out. Oh, I don't have that going past to you, so you didn't hear any of that. So this is a ROM that I actually wrote. But if I open up the debugger, oh, look at debugger. This is how the game runs. What the fuck does any of this mean? So I went, all right, well, I can't read any of this. I don't know what any of this means. I need to figure out what this means. So I found a manual from 1976. And I started reading it. Oh, eventually, I got far enough. I'm like, all right, I understand how the processor works. I go back to this. All right, this is loading something. That's subtracting. That's storing it. Loading, subtract, store. How do you get a game out of this? What? How does this translate into a game? And then I fell down that rabbit hole of, you know, going through the tutorial and figuring out how to make Pong. And then it just snowballed from there to now I've got Tetris that I wrote. This is my most recent ROM. But it's full Tetris with like wall kicks and everything and proper colors and all kinds of fancy shit, right? Animations and all that stuff. The audio is trash, but don't worry about that. All because I started out wanting to, you know, figure out how to write a task and how those worked. I got very distracted with that, by the way. I wrote like 1 or 2 tasks, incomplete, mind you. Like, they weren't complete tasks at all. And then got distracted writing stuff for the NES. I need to stop or else I'll not be able to talk. And then I went down another rabbit hole where Sour, the guy that maintains this emulator, he was griping on Discord one day. He's like, everyone, like, you know, tries to get me to implement, you know, some random Chinese pirate mapper, right? That is just like MMC 1 or 3 or whatever, but like the pins are different or some shit, right? That's not interesting at all. That's not fun at all. I really wish someone would get a study box and figure out how that worked. And I go, what the fuck is that? So I found one on eBay. And I figured out how it works, mostly. And then I ended up going through the wiki and finding other things that like had a question mark of, well, we don't know exactly if this has that or whatever, or we don't know what this bit means. Well, I guess I'm buying that too and figuring out how that works. So I've gone down that rabbit hole. So I have a bunch of random ass fucking accessories and console. So the titler, this thing that I have open right here, it's in a shelf over there. I'm not gonna go dig it out, but I can get a picture of it real quick. That's the wrong folder. That's the folder I want. Titler. Do I not have a picture of the actual system? Only the internals? What the fuck? Oh my god, I just have pictures of the fucking internals. Jesus Christ. Did I how do I not have a picture of the actual console? Like this is the closest thing I'm finding right now. What? What? How? Oh my god. God damn it. Anyway, this guy. This is what it looks like. It's rare. It's a weird Famicom that I have now. Because curious. Ooh, how's it work? I don't know. Let's find out. The community has known about this for a while, and a few people actually have. People in the community actually have this. But not a lot of reverse engineering has gone into it. Only recently has someone started to trace out the circuit boards. Other than myself, someone that actually knows what the fuck they're doing. Let me say that. Someone that knows what the fuck they're doing, not me, has been tracing out the circuit boards and making schematics and all that kind of shit. The same guy that did the replacement NES board, whatever that was. You know. It's unfortunate modern chips need more engineers to provide value to most people if they like those old games. That's their decision. Well, so the older stuff is simpler, right? Why would you emulate your own processor? Because that processor is no longer manufactured. That's actually like a have the control you want, sure. But in the business world, emulation is keeping the financial sector alive a little bit. Because there's lots of software that was written for mainframe computers, architectures that have not been manufactured for literal decades. Like the physical hardware has not been manufactured for like more than 50 years. But that code still needs to fucking run, right? So eventually you end up in an emulator, essentially running on newer hardware, so you can still run your 50-year-old software. You know? IBM still manufacturer isn't the same, but that said, I don't think the architecture is the same. IBM has, to my knowledge anyway, been very good about supporting their older stuff because the financial sector is built on top of it, right? So they still support COBOL first party. That is still fully supported by them on their brand new hardware, I believe. It'll still run it, you know. But other things like companies that have gone out of business, right? Or like code for like the PDP series, or you know, Deck Alpha or whatever, you know, actually don't exist no more. Not in any commercial capacity, anyway. One of the more recent ones, Itanium, right? That architecture. Intel stopped. Intel abandoned that ship a while back. And I think their contract with HP expired relatively recently. Yeah, HP. Yeah, so HP UX. So HP's got to figure out something to get all their shit, their Unix stuff off of that. You know. Got to use these things coming to. Ooh, Sun even. Oh, in front of Dennis. Is that what I think it is? Hang on. Mostly, all right. Yeah. And what I mean by dead is no longer Titanic. That's good. I like that. It's no longer manufactured, right? And or commercially supported, right? But yeah, there's a lot of software out there that you know, is built for older systems. I mean, the majority. I would even go out on a limb and say the majority of software in the wild is for discontinued hardware. Right? We've been in the computer age for long enough that, you know, multiple generations have passed since the early programs. Multiple like software hardware generations, right? Java 8 in production everywhere. But yeah, so there's always going to be use for emulation, not just for like preservation, but for keeping shit running, you know. Why can't you read the memory of another process? Because the processor itself enforces that on the hardware level, I believe, for the newer things. For the NES level, like for 6502, there is no like ring protection whatsoever, right? There is no like kernel mode in the 6502. Whatever code is running on that process on the 6502 has control of the entire fucking thing, right? Whereas with newer chipsets like x86 and x86 64 whatever, there's like permission levels, right? The rings that you'll hear about. Where if you're in one level, you can't. If you're in a higher level, you can't like do anything in a lower level without changing the permission context, right? Yeah. And again, like back, I was actually talking to my coworker about this, the older guy, the retiree. I was talking to him about like, you know, the software that we have that has so much tech debt, right? We have so much tech debt in this software, and looking from the year 2026 and looking backwards, we can go, oh well, they should have fixed it back then. Right? We know better now, so clearly they knew better then, right? They should have seen this coming. And I had to be like, well, no, they probably didn't for a good majority of things, right? Like COBOL is what I used, right? He was having trouble understanding like why is COBOL still being used or whatever, right? And I'm like, okay, well, COBOL was like one of the big languages that spread like fucking wildfire, right? And at that time, we didn't have any infrastructure where if one little bit of it died, your country burned down, right? For a road system, if a bridge fails, you go around the bridge, everything's fine, right? Except for the people that died during the bridge collapse, but that's besides the point. If like a fucking water main breaks, right? You go to the store, buy some fucking water or whatever, or go down to the river with a bucket, you know, like there's ways around it, right? So a failure there isn't a utter collapse of everything. Like little failures here and there. Like obviously, if everything across the board failed, that's a different story. But I'm talking about like if one little thing changed, the system will still run for the most part, right? Right. Like if you have like a house and a botched wiring job, it'll still work mostly, right? You unplug something. Oh no, it turned the TV off. Plug it back in. All right, we're good. Oops, I won't do that again. But you can't have that same mentality with software that is the foundation for the financial system, right? One little change in a piece of software could bring down the entire, it has potential to bring down the entire stack of cards, right? So from my understanding anyway, when people were writing these systems decades ago, no one as in like the software industry, if you could call it that at that point, didn't have the experience of decades of software to know what to expect or know what to plan for, because it was such a new thing, right? Now, 50, 60, 80 years down the line, we can look back and see what didn't work, right? And we can learn from the past. But back when COBOL was a thing, there wasn't really much learning from the past, because there wasn't much history with software yet, you know? Certainly not on that scale. Yeah. Talking about proper CPUs. Modern chips make it physically impossible to do so. Yeah. For really good reasons. Yeah. For really, really good reasons. Like, can you change the permissions of virtual memory so you can read the other process? I mean, if you're on the right permission level. But getting to that permission level is going to be a problem, I would think, right? That's like ring 0 shit. There have been discovered like ring -1 or whatever, which the kernel isn't even aware of in some chipsets, right? Where I remember this one researcher finding on an x86 CPU, I don't remember the manufacturer, but on an x86 CPU, there was an embedded ARM core that was basically the management system of that CPU. And it wasn't documented anywhere. So he went on a whole I don't know, researching marathon, I'll call it, to figure out like what that core was and how it worked and what the instructions were, right? Doing some like weird, bizarre debugging stuff and timing things, because he wasn't getting any useful errors out of the thing, right? Because he wasn't supposed to know it even existed. It's your process. Surely you can do whatever you want. You'd think you'd do that, but yeah. These you can do, the malware can too, yeah. It's looking software you download when trying to access your bank. Yeah. Surely you can do whatever you want. So yeah, so that's a tough argument to make. Like, okay, so I can see like one side of that being like, oh, the right to repair or whatever, but that doesn't mean that everything running on that machine has full access. I guarantee you don't know all the code running on your machine. I don't know all the code running on my machine. I barely know any of the actual code running on my machine. I don't trust a lot to my whole machine. You know, I trust the Linux kernel to it. But like the further down I get, like messing, I don't trust messing with access direct to my hardware. Absolutely not. You know. Why do they make it so difficult? They should know some people want to read the other processes of memory. Because again, if you make that easy, that's the same like argument that the government tries to use with backdoors into cryptography. Sure, you might have a noble reason, or you think a noble reason to do it, but if you can, bad actors also can. People that you don't want in there. You do not want that. Brett, how you doing? I don't think I said hi to you yet. Welcome. I know the code running on my machine right now after a full power. After I pull the plug and pull the battery and... I have a door, but there's no lock, so that's why when I open the door when I don't need to. Yeah. Then some random person walks in. Breaks in, walks in. They don't need to break it. Nothing's broken. There's no lock. They open the door. Yeah. Currently, you have to follow what they think is good for you. Well, so you don't even know how to use your processor. How do you know what's good? You don't. Any piece of product, everything's opinion. Everything. Yes. If you don't agree, you either shit out of luck or you have to do it yourself. Yeah. So either you resign to disagree and, you know, be like, all right, fine, I'll begrudgingly use this. Or you sit down and go, fine, I'll do it myself. Hell, that's what I did with my disassembler here. It was a, fine, I'll do it myself. Because the other program that I was using didn't work right. So I said, fine, this software isn't working the way I want it to work, so I'll write my own. Free Dimmadoo. Why do I think of Doug Dimmadale, the owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, when I see that name? What is a disassembler? It takes binary data and converts that into a human readable. Excuse me. A human readable list of instructions. So if I right click on here, memory viewer, this right here is the raw data. Starting at that 5.8 right there is this code right there. So the disassembler takes this and produces this. Thank you, look. Take compiled software and output something readable. Yep. Also, there are some ways for certain processes to get access to certain other process memory. It's called debugging. It's purposefully limited. Yes. Like a reverse compiler. Exactly. Exactly. This one I'm doing here, specifically, it's not necessarily on the level of compiler. It's on the level of assembler, right? So with the compiler, you can... for a compiled language, is typically like a operation, a command, or whatever in that language expands into a handful of instructions or a structure of instructions, right? Whereas for assembly, it's no, I am writing the exact instructions I want, right? And it's more of a direct translation from the instruction into binary code, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't find I finished this yet. It's starting to get a little warm. But anyway, okay, where's my IRQ handler? Actually, did I? Oh no, because I didn't include. I kind of want to like include directory, you know? The debugger only sees the memory of the debugged application? Yes. You don't want access memory of process B when debugging process A. Oh. Yep. Trying to figure out how to physically put a new hard drive into my computer case without having to pull out all the cards. And then I remember that the main board is on a slide-out tray. Ooh, thumb screws. Wait, not the right term. Which term in there wasn't right? What is it to assemble a bad mechanic? Snipe on. Welcome. Yeah, let me actually do this now. Okay, hang on. Wait, before that, I've got changes that I need to actually commit. Before I forget again. No, get ST. That's what I wanted. No. Types config. Right, add that. Not adding that. I don't think there was anything else for this specific thing. Remove warning for missing window assignments. Remove the warning when windows were globally defined, but a bank did not have any window assignments. There we go. Also, debugger usually relies on the program it wants to observe to help it out with something called debug information. Yeah. What tools would a task speedrunner want? A way to essentially program inputs. An emulator, yeah. A way to program inputs and have that replay reliably. Right? For NES stuff, that's your emulator, right? This is an emulator. It's right here. This is emulating NES hardware, right? It's emulating the 6502 processor. It is mimicking that processor so code can run on it. In software, it is doing the job that the hardware normally would do. It takes the instructions and runs the instructions and has in software a definition of the CPU that it keeps track of a state for, and it simulates it. Yeah, it's a program that simulates a whole system. One or more chips. For in the case of the NES, that's 3 separate cores at least. The PPU, the APU for sound, PPU for visuals, for video, APU for sound, and the CPU for the actual program code. Right? Those 3 cores. And the communication between those cores, right? And the cartridge and any mappers that the memory management unit that remaps memory, right? It simulates all those things in software without the need for any of the hardware, right? Also, speedrunners and testers generally don't want to cheat. Yeah, they want to get the best possible result using the regular input with testing. If you were superhuman, yeah. So there's a thing, a term, console verified, right? Where the task is taken from an emulator, right? Or is like would be programmed on an emulator, or figured out on an emulator, and then to be verified on hardware, is basically to replay those on unmodified hardware. So basically, your task machine plugs into a controller port and only has controller input to deal with, right? Can only change controller input. And it will sync to the start of, power on or whatever other method of syncing. And then once you hit go on the task, it will play on hardware and still complete on unmodified real hardware. Yeah. Why don't they just make a kernel that just does games and has all the tools we want to use? That's what consoles attempt to do. There's more than one console, though, isn't there? Because not everybody has the same idea of how that shit should work. Or who should get the money for it, really. I think that's what it really boils down to. So who should get the money for it? Yeah. That was good. I wish I had some more of that. Wish I had more of that. That was good. That was real good. Consoles are really closed and can't really use tools on it, right? You can. It's a shit ton of work, but you can. Oh. So the Xbox has the game kernel, a thin version of the Windows kernel, and the game runs and handles everything it would need the NT kernel to handle it normally. Yeah, and again, different consoles handle getting software onto their console differently, And that whole situation evolves over time as well. Like back at the early days of the NES era, a developer console didn't exist, right? So if Sharp, Bandai, or Atari, or anybody wanted to make a game on the Famicom, they had to figure out their own developer console, right? So that manifested in like special cartridges that would just plug into a bog standard Famicom, right? I'm sure other approaches involved Bode wires onto the CPU or what have you, right? But as the years go by, companies figure out how to do that, and then eventually, you have companies providing a bespoke developer console, right? An unlocked console, if you want to call it that. But those even have restrictions. Like I wouldn't be surprised if those consoles will not allow you to play released games on them, right? Same issue with proprietary PS or GPUs. Yeah, NVIDIA, etc., are black boxes to a large degree. Yeah, NVIDIA and Radeon don't really like each other. They don't really play nice. They don't agree on things. Hardware people don't want us to own the hardware and the software. People decide what people can do with it. It's a simplification. For comparison, it took 10-ish years to boot Linux on a PlayStation 3. That's a pre-made kernel. The adaptations necessary to make it run at all. Yeah. Yes, and there are once again good reasons for limitations. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, oversimplification and a naive view into it, I think. A naive view, in my opinion. I meant to add this the other day, but I added that when I was at work, and I make the executive decision not to commit anything while I'm on the clock, so my company can't point and say, hey, you made it, you weren't working at this time, I can see it. Yeah. Here, have a bomb. I expect the average person to handle it correctly. Yeah, right? If you want full control over your machine or whatever, right? You want, Temple OS. That's the operating system for you, is Temple OS. Right? Where Terry's philosophy is, well, if you don't do it right, it's going to crash, and that's on you. It's easy, right? It's just a bunch of wires and timers and wires. Just a bunch of electrons and ones and zeros. How hard can it be? Working on with no safety. Well, and it might go off randomly when you point it at any body part. Yeah, right. You'll do what the software person has made the software for. You can become your own software person. Yeah, that's what I've done. So I've become my own software person. 640 by 480 in 16 colors, like God intended. Nothing but and NOR gates. Can't you do everything with like exclusive not or? What about using it? Absolutely fucking not. No. None of that LLM bullshit. None of that bullshit. No. No. Roll up your GPU short, yeah, right? If you want your full control of your hardware, you gotta build your own photo lithography machine. Is this the guy in the fucking shed that did this? No, okay. So, yeah, you could do this, or, fuck, hang on. There's one guy, hang on. Channel just fucking... This channel comes out of fucking nowhere. Right? There's a class 100 semiconductor clean room inside this backyard shed. This is the only video on this guy's channel. Right? Dr. Semiconductor. Only video. And this motherfucker builds a goddamn clean room in his backyard shed to, like, industry standard clean room levels, right? For the purpose of, like, manufacturing CPU cores. So, I mean, you know, how determined are you to control every single level of your computer? That's really what it is. How determined are you? Ugh. Had a few babies. Oh, my stochastic token predictor, which does not understand anything, to the kernel. That's gonna be fine, right? Right? Yeah. All you need is NAND. Okay, we're going to the beach, kids, to gather some sand. Tomorrow we start on the wafers. I'm no expert, but I don't think that's how it works. Again, I could be wrong. I'm no expert. Give me a NAND gate, I'll build a processor. Go for that, how you doing? It's all fun and games till the police raid your shed for power consumption. Yeah, raid your shed expecting a fucking weed grow farm, and then instead they see you like manufacturing CPU wafers, and they're just utterly confused. Like, what the fuck? Or they see a clean room and they expect, like, you know, drug manufacturing or something, you know? Growing crystals, yeah. But not the drug kind crystals, but like silicone. Yeah. Yes, he is very much a programmer. But yeah, so software and hardware are incredibly deep and fascinating rabbit holes. While we've disagreed a bunch, I encourage you to jump down those rabbit holes head first. Find a niche that interests you, because there's plenty of very concentrated niches in software and hardware. Find one that interests you and go nuts. My niche is old ass software, right? Hell, even at work, I'm working with fucking 30-year-old software, right? So yeah, find the niche that you enjoy, because there is a plethora of shit out there, an absolute plethora. I may look like I know what I'm doing with software, but there are so many things that I know of that are fucking rocket science to me. I do not understand them. Haskell's a language. It is a language that is structured differently than the C family of languages. I do not know Haskell. I know of Haskell. I cannot write any of it. Haskell's functional, right? A functional language, right? Probably. I don't know. But yeah, functional programming. Yeah. Functional programming language. That the way you write it and the way you think about programs is different than how you would think about solving that same issue in C or C++ or Go or whatever. Do you be good at math, use Haskell? If you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, know how to do that stuff, you can get through the vast majority of programming, I'd say. Or maybe not majority, but a very good chunk of it. Good at no does help, kind of. Yeah, so it depends. I have gotten simple math wrong on stream in front of everybody numerous times. I'm talking about like simple multiplication and addition I've gotten wrong. And I can still build a disassembler, right? So would it help to know math better? Absolutely. Will it prevent you from figuring shit out? Not at all. Not at all. As long as you can do very simple, like, you know, second grade math, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Because the computer is a big calculator. You don't need to actually know how to do math in your head. You just need to know how to put the arguments, right? You need to know like what you want, essentially. You know, some basic algebra, understanding of algebra, maybe, right? But more complex than that, I mean, depends on the niche, you know? No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about asking too many questions. You're fine. But yeah, there's something for everybody. Software, hardware. Some other thing I'm forgetting. Yeah. If you enjoy, like, you know, laying out traces, figuring out the actual circuitry for it, the electronics of it, that's probably a little bit more math heavy, probably. I don't know. So you get pulled in. You ask one question to know how something works, and then years later, you're a programmer. Yeah. Do you feel like you own your 6502? So that's a bit of a loaded question, because I've written my own 6502 emulator. For the Famicom, I feel like I have decent control over the system because of all of the development and reverse engineering work I've done, right? So I know this system fairly well. I'm not sure I'd necessarily call myself an expert, but I am very comfortable with this system, right? I'm not sure where I was going with that, but then something like this will cross my path, and I go, "What in the fuck is that?" Right? Or this will cross my path and go, "Huh? What? How does that work? How is that supposed to work? What?" And then what happens is I buy another one and take it apart. And then I buy another one and take it apart. And I think I have a fourth one. Yeah, the fourth one is further taken apart. The fourth one has shit desoldered from it. In the other room, it's in more pieces, actually. That one's never going back together because I discovered that one of the spindles, or one of the mechanical parts, has a clip missing, so it won't go back in and stay in. So that one is the sacrificial. I know it doesn't seem like that is the only one with these in pieces like they are, but trust me. I do want to get the other ones working. I do. Trust me. Do you know what you want to do? So that's always a tough thing too. So Monopoly outside of boxes. Yeah. I gave one away a few weeks ago, before the blizzard. But yeah, like don't focus on languages, right? Sure, I'm working in Go and 6502 here, right? I know a dozen or so different languages to varying degrees of fluency, right? Go, obviously, 6502, obviously. PLB, which is what I use at work. C#, a little bit of C++, a little bit of C. Perl, PHP, Python. I know a little bit of COBOL. I know a little bit of JavaScript. I know a little bit of Java, right? I know I'm forgetting some. I know a little bit of Bash. God, there's got to be more languages that I know. I'm certain I'm forgetting some languages. Lua. Lua's another one, right? But I've learned each one of those for like a purpose, right? Because I wanted to get something done, and that language did it well enough, or I had access to that language, right? Yeah, like I've written a few things in Perl at work because it was either that or write that thing in PLB, and I went, ew, no, I'm not doing that. Papyrus is a scripting language. The Papyrus is a font. What do you want about? Real talk. C, Fortran. So I did dabble a little bit in some Fortran. For shit. What was it? It was the advent of code. I did a little bit of Fortran. A little bit. I do not. I wouldn't say I know Fortran. I wouldn't say that. I got like one program compiled, I think, and I didn't understand how the fuck it worked. So I wouldn't say I know Fortran. No. Back 10 years ago, I took a dive and tried to learn C. My shit never clicked for me. I only got back into it at university, learning Java first, and hating every second of it. Understandable. My free time I learned Golang, part of because his projects at the time. Learned Haskell in university and really liked it. For my job, I dived back into C and C++. So I'm now, at the moment, Golang is easy my main language. Yeah, so my main languages, ironically enough, are Go and PLB. Technically, I'm one of the very few people on this planet that have kind of good understanding of PLB. Yeah, so I've mentioned it a bunch. Let me actually go over there and pull samples. Yeah. PLB? There it is. So this is what PLB looks like. It's basically poor man's COBOL. It's very wordy. End if, right? Display move for assignment. Repeat, so it doesn't have like, close bracket, whatever. Stop. Right, lots, very, very wordy for things. If zero, where is last in input giving? Now, I use this in my day job. And it's a terrible language. Where is this? This is the exact same language. It's not the same code, but it's the same language. This is all syntactically correct. Hard as shit to follow, but it does compile. Yeah. How works the function? Oh yeah. Skyrim. Why are you linking Nexus mods? What is this? I love the Windows 95 help screen. The creation kit papyrus reference. Entirely new scripting language system created specifically for the creation kit. Like any scripting environment, papyrus can be a daunting system. Oh, alright. Oh, is that part of the Skyrim script extender? Is that what that uses? It was not terrible. It is dated, but what I wanted to do, it did competently. Yeah, in my day job, it is horrendously misused. That's native. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Isn't PLB sort of a mix of COBOL and Fortran? No, it's literally poor man's COBOL. Data Point? Yeah, Data Point wanted COBOL on 8-bit machines. And 8-bit machines couldn't run COBOL because COBOL required more than 8 bits. Their solution was to dumb the language down. So they made Data Bus, later renamed PLB, which is poor man's COBOL. Yeah. COBOL minus. Basic. I used to know a little bit of Basic. I don't say I know that anymore. Turbo Pascal. Oh my god. Dealt with a bunch of others. These days mostly use Go, C252 assembly, or Bash script on a hobby basis. Last I've used primarily Java, PHP, and JavaScript. Do I know how they made Skyrim script extender? Nope. Secret guilty admission, I kind of like COBOL. People misusing tools at work? Never. No. That's impossible. But yeah, so this language, where it excels is text processing, believe it or not. A lot of the functions are built around text processing. And for the time, it made sense, given the software environment of the early 70s, late 60s. I think I've got that time frame right. But yeah, where everything's like fixed length, it works really well with fixed length stuff. Fixed length ASCII. I have to be specific there. Fixed length, single byte text encodings. If you throw Unicode at it, like UTF-8 or 16 or whatever, falls flat on its fucking face. Falls flat on its face, especially UTF-8. I think it can actually do UTF-16, kind of. There's some stuff at work that's UTF-16, and it somehow handles it fine, which is very surprising. I'm actually working through one of those programs now. But anything other than text processing is an absolute bitch and a half. Anything math heavy, anything processing heavy, anything variable length, XML, it's fuck off. You're not doing that. Work finding a library tool and abusing it, ignoring the fact that even the creator says not to use it for X, and then wondering why it has such performance impact. Impossible. Yeah. What's wrong with the string-based math processing? Jesus. Oh, God. You mean the fixed width math that isn't fixed to a bit width, but a character width? That math? Where if you go too far negative, you're suddenly positive? But like weird? Where a 3-digit number can go from negative 99 to positive 999. Everything is a string. Everything. Well, as long as you use hexadecimal, it's gonna be all right. Okay, so in PLB, the hexadecimal that you use is limited to a single byte. You can only assign a single byte of hexadecimal to a variable, I believe. I haven't successfully done any more than that. Mobius math. Yeah. Actually, there was a bug at work. So there was this accounting software, essentially, that had a field for a dollar amount, right? So at work, we print and mail bullshit. So print and mail like statements and bills and checks and shit like that, right? Well, we don't pay for the postage. The customer pays for the postage, right? So the customer will pay us, and they'll have a buffer of money that they've already paid us that we use to send their mail. There was one customer. It was a county, I think. It was a government county, where they were the only customer we allowed them to go negative. They would always pay up, but there was always a block of time where they were negative, right? You send their mail and they'd pay the balance, kind of thing, right? Well, there was only 7 digits, I think it was. Oops. Yeah, 7.3, I think it was. I think. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So, 7 digits. Go up to $1 million. Positive. Negative, though? That's as far negative as that it can go. They went $1 million negative. And then suddenly they had a positive $1 million in their account. So that was incorrect. 1:27 a.m. UK time. Welcome, Brent. How you doing? Welcome. Hello. Sleeps for the week. That's the spirit. So I had to fix that. I had to add a digit to so many things, and oh my god. That software, by the way, is no longer used. We have gotten rid of that software. I was making that up. Yeah, it works for me too. Jim Mega, you're oh, Immigrants temporarily over capacity. Yeah, try again. You VPN. Ah, that'll do it. But yeah, numbers are fucking strings. You know. Also, formatting numbers, fucking cancer. I hate how it does it, because so a number, least significant to most significant, goes from right to left. But when formatting a number as a string, that string is filled left to right. So if your number doesn't have the same number of characters as the format string, it will format it incorrectly. Because fuck you. Planning my 652-based computer. Ooh, nice. Content not available in your region. Good old UK. Oh, no. When parsing, I store my numbers as strings until they will be needed, just not to lose precision from literal. Oh, I see. Embrace the strings. Yeah. So today actually, I was rewriting a PLB program in Go. It's one of the better approaches. Yeah, I have a hard time disagreeing, honestly, but that's besides the point. So there's a program that no. At work that I started to rewrite, that basically extracts TIFF image data out of a larger file, and that was all done in PLB. Slow as shit, right? So I ended up rewriting it, and the rewrite took that long. To run, it actually took seconds, right? Whereas the original program would take minutes, because PLB was not designed for that kind of shit, you know. Who's base pi? Then it's 10. Base pi. God. Round pi to 10. That's close enough for government's work, anyways. I've never heard of base pi before. That sounds like a nightmare. I was supposed to for literal operators, so I need in case someone wants to provide the type that can support arbitrary precision numbers. Oh. There was actually an attempt to define pi as 3 by law. Okay, so you need a few decimal points, like 2 or 3, to be accurate enough for the times when you need to use pi. A U.S. state, yeah. Doesn't the Bible define? I don't think so. No. Nah, make it 4, then you can square the circle. What was it? Like the astrophysicist defines pi as like 3.14159 or whatever. Like you need at least that much. And the mathematician defines it out to like 20 spaces, 20, 100, whatever decimal points. Engineer, yeah, it's about 3. So I remember 3.1415. Yeah, for the majority of cases, that's enough. And can't you isn't it out to 10 places accurate enough for galaxy size shit or more? Right? So the getting pi to some absurd number of decimal points is literally just because. It's 3 numbers and a dot. Yeah. Only need about 39 digits, 38 decimal places to calculate the size of the visible universe down to the size of a hydrogen atom. That's what it is. There you go. Yeah. Only about 38 decimal places to calculate the entire observable universe down to the size of a hydrogen atom. Yeah. Any more than that is just fucking showing off. Pick a number between 1 and I always say pi. Cast 10 cubits. Fuck that measurement, God. 5 cubits high and a line of 30 cubits measured as square root of 2. Oh. On that day, he smoked a spliff and said, "This pie is good." one of the records for most digits per packet. I don't know. Does it? What does it say between 1 and 2? Yeah, so like calculating digits of pi is just like a flex, basically, right? So there's always somebody that's just gonna be doing it more, you know, just to do it. So it's never gonna be, you know, oh, we calculated the most. That's it. That's the end. No, the next day someone else is gonna do more. So it's like hardware and time at it. Yeah, exactly. The Famicom can calculate digits of pi, right? It's slow as shit, but it can do it. In fact, hang on. Do I not have... Oh my god, I don't have my... Hang on. My little overlay. I want my little overlay, though. Let me get it started here real quick. This one? Yeah. Number of digits, 256. Just go. You can't see it because it's off screen. Don't worry about that. The reason I'm over here is I want TV capture. That's what it is. I'm gonna add this one. No, what? Yeah, no, add video capture. No. That one. Add TV. Okay. Bam. And then I need the proper. Well, I'm not gonna bother with the proper ratio. Fuck it. I'll put that over here. Right there. That'll eventually get you. Get. You can see the little flashing bits. It's getting more digits, but it's doing it. Give it time. Give it time. Oh. SSD got to 300 trillion digits. Not the latest record, but up there. Turn this off real quick. Money in pi. 4.3? Yeah, but like I don't think I can set that directly as a aspect ratio. I have to set the actual size. Well, I suppose actually if I just set it to 4 pixels by 3 pixels, and then how dare? No, I can't resize that. God damn it. Maybe what is it? A 320 by 240? There we go. That works. Wait, did that? No, okay. It's on a second line now. That's what that is. Okay. Close that. And then we're going to put that underneath that. There we go. So that's in the background there. There we go. Yeah, so this is the Famicom figuring out digits of pi. Next primes arguably harder. Yes. So that stuff's using encryption. No. Anyway, I've gotten fuck all done in 2.5 hours. Oh my god. Wait, the latest prime in a book. Yeah. I remember what I was gonna do. Okay, what I was gonna do. Get inputs. This we're gonna change a little bit. Config. Get inputs here. Okay. Expanded is string. Okay, so I want to. Nope. Rotate. There it is. Okay, so for each of those, for file or item in range files, if has suffix. No, what's the separator? Can I... It's file path, not OS, file path. Path, file path. This. Oh, no, it was OS separator. Okay. This guy. Path separator. If that, it's a directory. Else, found error equals file path.glob item. The illegal prime. Is prime factorization not calculated the next one? Again, what the hell do I know? Yes, and some algorithms use prime as well. Oh, not only the factors. Prime factors with a number. So any primes of some use. Shouldn't the globbing have happen in the is directory case and not the else case? No. So for a directory, I'm just going to look for everything with a .cfg in that directory. But if something is a directory and a glob at the end, right, or a file or a file, I'm going to use a glob for that, right? So this would just be like a default glob. Actually, hang on, if that item equals plus equals star dot kfg. You're assuming that non-directories are glob patterns. More or less, yeah. And even if it's not an actual glob pattern, if it's just a what's it? Just a exact file name, the glob will return just that file. Why not OS file info? I mean, I could do that, I suppose. But this is another way to do it. Oh, whatever. Okay. So this shouldn't... Untyped rune constant 47 as string value. Okay. So this shouldn't break anything. Looks like it didn't. Good. And then if I just include bank star.kfg. Fuck you. I was looking at the right one. Can't open that unless the file directory. Oh shit! Wait. Oh, no. That's the wrong. Nope. That's not inputs. I'm doing this in the wrong spot. I'm doing this in the wrong spot. That's not inputs. No, it's configuration shit. No, not there. Let's actually get rid of all that, like that. Oops. No, like that. It's in here. Somewhere. I think. Include. Okay. There, okay. For each include. Actually, let me, oh, damn it. Range config.global.include. If file strings that has suffix item os.path separator. Yes, okay, separator. I spelled it right. If that item plus equals start at config. Okay, I've already got file path in there. Do I have OS actually? Yes, OS file. Good. Then not OS equals file path.glob item. If error is not nil, return nil error. Just return the error. Fuck it. Otherwise, included equals append included files dot dot dot. No, that's this is here. And strings. That's better. Okay. Beautiful. I don't know why the fuck he's doing that. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful, that worked. Okay. Beautiful. So now I don't have to add individual config files. I can just add it to a directory. Perfect. All right. What? What? Where is that even coming from? var 8001. What? 1D. That isn't set up to what? Configs this. What? One E. That shouldn't be doing any of that. Okay, that is being included in the wrong spot. Really? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go over to label manager. No. Make. 1D to proglow. Okay. Something ain't right there. Those banks are getting polluted. Why? Huh? What? Address 8,000. Window. Perg. Low. Bank. Bank _ 1D. Oh, yep. List. Bank switching points not set up correctly? Something like that. So I thought I had it where if none of them were defined, it would do this, right? It would activate the bank, which is this code here that calls fucking set window. So it calls the same routine that me defining it in the config would call. Hang on. Hang on. I don't think I'd do it for the output. Yup, I don't do it for the output. I do that in here as well. Yoink. There we go. Okay, so it's probably creating the labels, but not outputting them correctly. That's probably what's going on. All right. So I don't need that printing anymore. Come on, printing anymore. Yeah, that's what's going on. Load file. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. Another element in it, column in the middle there. Yeah, so that you know what? Yeah, let's put that down there as well. What is this? Where is this? That's way at the top. I'm not going to put it there because bank isn't a thing there. Ranges. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're good. Fixed. What is it? NMI reset IRQ, or is it IRQ reset? No, this one's IRQ, right? Neither one of those are in... What? Really? No, these should be... What? Why didn't it make those labels? It should have made that label. Did that break shit? No. Okay, so that... What the hell? Do I have that set as an address, right? Yeah, I have those set as addresses. Okay. I activate the bank. Oh, no, over here. Activate the bank. Do any set window shit. New data. It's in here, decoder, new data. I don't actually assign addresses for things. How the fuck? Really? No, this. I need that. Set label, new label, uint adder. What is arg up here? That's the address. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But I don't actually care for the label itself. I just want it to be made. Label prep? What? Dakota 186. Types new label. It's gonna be L. I'm just gonna hard code that to L. There we go. It wasn't actually just. It just wasn't making the label. That's what that was. Okay. I need to set a bunch of this shit to data. Well, not a bunch of it, just a little bit of it, actually. From here, okay. Let's be into fixed ranges. Start FFAA and FFF9. Okay. Actually, some data there. That's all right. And my reset RQ. New drivers partition the LVM PV. PV has been created. I'm not yet able to the VG. There's just 158 packages left to build for the system update. If a usable system again tomorrow. Oh my god. Switch to beginning and start over. What a god. All right, what was it? C something? C11A. C11A. Name. MI. And D795. D795. IRQ. 686, so no. Mixed Indian? Ew. No. Ew. Disgusting. Did that crash? I think that crashed. That's a... Oh, no, it didn't crash. Wait, what? Oh, no, that got to 256. Interesting. Yeah, because there's 900 some odd characters. Reset. Don't want this. I want this just to keep on going. Is it 920? Is it 920? $960. That was close. Oh, that caps at that. All right, start. Let that go in the background now. All right, let's go back over here. Nothing else config is different, right? Yeah, okay. Git add config read. Add directory and glob includes oops. I'm on my green screen. Shit, hang on. I need to get off of this. This is gonna just make it worse. Oh no. Oh no. Rolling out of my green screen. What? Okay. Okay. Each include in the configuration is treated as a file glob and will add each file found matching a given glob. Include directives ending in the path separator will have star.config appended to it and be treated the same as above. No. Yeah, it's overscans. So it is up there. It's like in the middle-ish of the screen. You can see a little blinking whatever. Whoever programmed this did it for PAL, which doesn't have the overscan. But we've got overscan in NTSC. So, you know, yeah, I can't actually capture that. That's my capture card cutting that off. Or I think it's the not the capture card, but the converter that I'm using. I'm using a like an RCA to HDMI or AVI, whatever the fuck it is, you know, composite to HDMI, and it's a really shitty converter. Glorious, I don't know about that. But yeah, so they're up in the overscan, so you can't really see them. All right, do that. Good diff everything. All right, DASM activate bank stuff. So that I'm going to add separately. I'm going to undo the stuff in Label Manager. That's just a print that I counted out. Okay. Add DASM. And structures, it's a decoder. Fix window label. No related label bug. Ensure that banks are activated each time the label manager is initiated. I.e. before decoding and before outputting and before writing output. I appreciate that. Create labels in fix range adder regression address range regression. Fix labels not getting created with ranges of type address. There we go. CCAM. The old continent. Luki has a nice image somewhere showing the overscan for both historically and for quote-unquote modern CRTs. Already had it open? Oh my god. Oh yeah, there you go. Danger zone. Top and bottom 8 lines. Most 60 hertz and 60 hertz TVs hide all of this. Keep the scroll seam artifacts here if possible. Visible at 50 hertz. Action safe area. Most TVs show some of this. Post 1985 safe area. Practically all TVs show this. Platforms, pits, and indicators are fine. Then tile safe area. Marked on Nintendo background planning sheet. Keep menu, score, dialogue, and legal notices here. There you go. I think I more or less conform to this. Mostly, it's mostly by, I don't know, feel though, I think. Especially for the horizontal stuff. But oh, there you go. Perfect example. It's not even centered. Is there a ROM that just has this? There's gotta be a ROM that just has that. Maybe I'll make one myself. Take that image and do it. Or something. I don't know. Anyway. So So I didn't get much done tonight. But I think I'm going to wrap up because I'm tired. And it's like quarter after 10. Quarter after 10. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up. We're gonna see if anybody's live that we can go raid. Two very different safe areas. Yes, those are extremely different safe areas. Safe area, television, areas of TV picture that can be seen on screens. Safe area, Bosnian War. Okay. No, Chicago, I'm not doing that. Oh. Also, that RMF get pushed wouldn't really do much. I'd be able to recover that. So I don't think that would that do hidden files? Maybe it would do hidden files. But the git push wouldn't do anything. Because it'd have nothing to push. If you delete the git directory, git goes, there's no git here. So it wouldn't be able to push anything because that's where your origin is stored. It would certainly move everything uncommitted. You're correct there, yes. So it would do damage. Have the code, but listen. No, not that, not that. So this shit is stuff I'm just playing with. That's, I can lose that, I can lose that, I can lose that, and that, and that, and that. I don't even remember what the fuck that was. That I can lose, that I can lose. What even is this? What is that? Huh? Oh, is that a that might be one of the files for the Sosuke family. That might be what that is. Maybe. A1000. 8,000? If I don't know what this is, I can delete it. Yeah, well, sometimes. That wouldn't delete the .git directory, but it also wouldn't add any removals to Git. So the push would probably be a no-go op, a no-op, if Upstream was up to date beforehand. Yeah. That, and you can just do a Git checkout and have all your files back that you checked in, right? Anyway, I'm tired. I need to go pass out. So, okay, let's find someone to go raid. I should be back on Sunday, doing I don't fucking know what. Maybe more of this, maybe something else. We'll see. Steam stuff on Sunday? I don't know. No guarantees on that. I need to figure out some API key stuff, and I don't know if I'll have that done by Sunday. There's not a lot of people streaming. Oh, wait, hang on. No, that's my following list. So let's go into the category. There we go. That's better. More people here. Yeah, but we rated for a lot. So I think we're going to try and find someone else. Bob Ross is painting. We're not rating Bob Ross, all right? We're not doing that. Why are the two streams of the same thing? What the fuck? Ooh, let's go over here. I think we're gonna go over here. Yeah, let's go over here. All right. Again, come through to say hi. I'd really appreciate it. Really terrible at interacting with chat, right? But yeah, so I'll be back on Sunday doing fuck if I know. Come with me to say hi. I would appreciate it if you came with me to say hi. I need to change the end screen to that. And yeah, you guys have a good night. Bye-bye.